Causes of the loss of vital energy. A person begins to suffer misfortune when he loses his life power. Success, health, and a state of happiness depend on the amount of a person's spiritual power. The causes of loss of energy are the following. First, negative self-image. Second, passive lifestyle. Third, external factors that weaken one's energy. The sense of I is created according to the understanding each person has about the meaning of their life. The wider and greater the meaning of a person's life, the greater their spiritual power. The lowest existence is an aimless existence, just like a vegetable. The second place is taken by a service to the worldly egoistic interests. The third, living for something or someone. The fourth level is for self-development. The highest stage is development for the sake of helping and liberating others, for delivering the will of the highest divine power into the world. A person who restricts themselves to a carnal existence narrows their perceptive abilities of the divine power. Passive living, going with the flow, taking the path of least resistance, and giving way to laziness weakens one's life power, and as a result, diseases will certainly occur. In contrast, every action, which is made with effort and super effort, directed to a spiritual purpose, develops great power in a person. This power will protect them always and will allow them to survive impossible conditions like curing lepers whilst remaining healthy. Passivity and turning back when difficulties approach on the spiritual path lead to losing one's health and life power. Outer factors that drain energy and lead to disease can be stress accompanied by explosions of emotion, which contain a lot of power, chills, overstrain, attachment to results, clogging the body with heavy food, alcohol, and so on. You should take these and the other factors which define the causes of disease into account. You need to draw your patient's attention to these factors and recommend the opposite way of behaving. For example, if they overeat, prescribe fasting. If they have excessive sex, recommend abstinence. In Tibet, a healer first acts as a priest who hears confession. In this way, he finds out the true causes of a person's disease, but without stuffing the person with recipes and remedies. Later, he tries to change the person's attitude towards themselves by widening their consciousness and connecting them with divine power. In the West, nobody pays attention to a person's soul. Even the church is more interested in whether you have been baptized or not than in solving your problems. Our experience has proven that a successful act of freeing one from an evil eye or an illness or a stressful situation which was performed by the best healers would not bring any positive long-term results if the patient would not change their perception of themselves. The person would become again a subject to an evil eye, or will get themselves in harm's way or in a new stressful situation. It was as if they were locked into a vicious circle. This is their destiny, their karma. However, karma does not have to be necessarily realized in a person's life, as karma is our attitude towards ourselves. If we change our attitude towards ourselves, then the karma disappears. This is what happened to the sinner who was crucified at the same time as Christ, and to whom the Savior said, "Today you will be in paradise with me." As the man's attitude towards himself changed under the influence of Jesus' divine power, his blessings were revealed. There is also no point in treating a person who has not changed their way of living. You can correct the curvature of their spine, but if they sit badly again and have an inactive lifestyle, the condition will return. You can give medicinal herbs to treat a liver, but if the person continues to eat the same unhealthy things, the liver will suffer again and again. You can relieve a heart attack with acupuncture, but new stresses would bring it back again. You can help a person to solve one of their psychological problems, but another will take the place of the previous one. A true doctor doesn't hurry, as his intent is that of diagnosing your attitude towards yourself and your actions, and his remedy that of changing your unhealthy way of living. Herbs and needles are only auxiliary instruments, giving a small push towards health. The way out is the practice of perfection, and as long as doctors do not understand this, the number of sick people will continue to increase. True methods for healing remain unknown by all but a few, so that sometimes the doctor is in an even worse condition than his patients. I open this way to you, and your task is to put it into practice for the salvation of mankind. God will help you with this task. Aum. Blessed are those who follow this way. Om.
In our extreme times, when the fate of the entire planet is at stake, it is crucial for the knowledge of angels and benevolent spirits to spread as quickly as possible, globally, and reach thousands of people. In this way, we can change the future of all humanity. Which is why we are addressing you, dear soul of light. Spread the knowledge about our wise books and films. Share links to videos or cartoons. All of this is available and free. Invite women to individual practices, webinars, and seminars. And the Great Spirit of Light will help you and your family. It will direct an enormous amount of energy to fulfill all your desires. Benevolent spirits and angels will assist you and your loved ones in all matters. A thread of light and love extends from your heart to the hearts of thirsty women, and the creation of good and the dissemination of enlightened knowledge throughout the world begins. Become part of the mission of light. Help people, and God will help you.